days. Hooray, it's Thursday. We're not live today. I am actually at work. So I've done a pre-recording for you so that you can get your Christmas cards up and rolling, because I don't know, it's almost the end of September. Like, where has this year gone? I've got lots of cards that I need to make, so I need to make some really fast but pack your punch sort of cards. So I thought I'd show you some of the easy ones that I'm going to make today. I will make for my cards. I make about 100 cards each year. I get lots of inspiration from this beautiful catalogue. I'm going to show you, we're playing this weekend at our Stamps Club with Reindeer Fun. It's the stamp set of the month. So I've taken some inspiration from here for class cards, and I thought I'll do another one so they've got some more up. Now there's inspiration in here. You can see they've even used it for tags. We've got these gorgeous, and I mean, they are just the best. They're red and white adhesive back peppermints. Can you see those? Look at them. Aren't they the best? They're currently out of stock. Just saying. Watch for them. They do sell out fast. This is the first time they've been out of stock. It was when we had that free shipping day. They just all disappeared. But these are the cutest. I love the embossing folder. That's all there is to it. But the designer series paper speaks itself. So when you look at the designer series paper, you think, oh my gosh, how am I going to use that? There's lots of different ways you can use it. Some of these images do cut out with our dies that match the suite, the reindeers. Okay, so keep that in mind. You can build your own reindeer with the dies, but they take time. So what I want to show you today is how you can make some very quick, easy cards without too much fuss. So essentially you're going to need a stamp set, your trimmer, adhesive, cardstock, and a packet of designer series paper, and your favorite punch. Now I bought 2 over because I've got 2 favorites, and that's okay. You can have as many favorites as you like. I'm going to use the Christmas is Better Together sentiment. So it's already on a block, and I've brought over with me Early Espresso and Garden Green. Now Garden Green is not, I know, is not one of everybody's favorite colors. However, I love it because it's green. You know, what's not to love? It's green. So what I did was I pulled out, this is the new glimmer paper. Isn't it pretty? That's just the green piece, one of the green pieces in it. So I've got this piece of designer series paper. I have done some pre-work here because I needed to. So I cut this piece of designer series paper in half. Essentially initially I cut it to 6 by 12, but I've now cut it down, and it's the size of 3 card fronts. 30 centimeters across gives me 3 card fronts quite perfectly. You've got to be really thingy and not worry about where you cut it. Okay, so essentially out of one piece, I can get 6 of these cards, but for the purposes of today, we're just going to make 3. Now, what I've done is I brought over 4 different colors of cardstock, and that's because all of those colors match. Now, they all need to talk to each other, and we'll see if we can get these 3 cards made in 30 minutes. What do you reckon? Nothing like a challenge. So while I'm at work, you guys can all craft. Feel free to comment. I will come back later this afternoon and check to see what you think. The videos will be available for replay, not a problem. So we've got a real red, Early Espresso, I actually bought over heaps. I've got heaps of cardstock on the table. There's an Early Espresso, and there's a Garden Green. So just depending on what color is your favorite, you can actually just go with whatever. But I've also got some pecan pie here, and I've got some basic white. So do you know what? I've already made the decision. I'm not even going to fold the basic white. I've just put green ink all over that piece, but that's okay. I'm not even going to fold the basic white because I'm not going to use it. So those are my 4 different colors. We've got pecan pie, red, real red, garden green, and early espresso. These are my 3 card fronts. So you'll see one of them, they'll fit better with one of the particular colors depending on how you've cut it. So like this one that's got more tree on it's going to go better on the garden green, for example. Like, see what I mean? All right, just seems to. You can mat it again if you would like to. The choice is yours. That would also look very nice matted in another early espresso. You don't have to. You can cut it down smaller if you want to, and you can stamp around it. Again, the choice is yours. But very basic cards, and they're all essentially going to be the same. So what have I done? I have got 3 card inners, and I've got a scrap. I'll put that piece over there. This scrap I'm going to use, I've already cut out 2. Christmas is better together. Christmas is better together, but I've got, those are my 2 favorite punches at the moment. So I'm thinking I like the way they sit on both of those. I've got to cut another one. Okay, so just because I can, I'm going to do it in green. How nice does that stamp? This mat just makes such a huge difference. Now, I think I might have cut that. I might have stamped that too close to the top. No, I didn't. Hold my tongue right, look at it in numerous different directions to make, yep, I've stamped it too close to the top. So that's just made the decision for me that this card is getting the oval. You want to make sure that your wording is straight on your card. Okay? Christmas is better together. I've also brought over just some other strips from the designer series paper. This is another piece, and it's one of my favorite pieces, the one with the little bells on it. It's got little reindeers and stuff on the back. Let me see if I can put it back together for you. Look at that. That must have been down the bottom here. How cute's that paper? But I've cut it up, and you'll notice this one's got a flag on it. How did I do that flag? Well, guess what? I didn't have to be really clever and flag it. I just popped this in here, centered it up, and punched the end off it. So it's not a straight flag, it's a bit like an angled flag. If I wanted to, I could have rounded off the edge, but I think it needs, you can also pop it over here, it will give you a sharper point, but you have to make sure you're fairly center. Hold your tongue in the right spot. Okay, so you can see the difference in those 2 edges. Okay, so we've got 3 pieces of that. We've got a super duper long piece. This is just cut at about 1/2 inch, centimeter-ish and a bit. Okay, and then I'm just going to cut that as I need it. So like I said, super duper fast cards depending on what you need. Okay, if you need bulk cards, this is the way to do it. I have all 4 production lines, and I can't decide what color we're going to use, whether we're going to use pecan pie or early espresso. So we're going to have a play here. Just want to see if you can see them all. Okay, so this one here, there's not much real red on that one. That one's got more real red on it, so it can go on that one. Oh, I can't believe I'm thinking about ditching the garden green. Actually, no, I'm not. I'll ditch the early espresso. So let's go with these colors. Okay, so what you can do with this paper, you've got a bit of a choice here. If you've got a dauber handy, you can rough it up. You can stamp around your card if you like. So we'll do one. I thought I had a dauber on the table. Actually, I know I had a dauber on the table because I saw it before and I thought, oh, I might use that. But it's developed some legs. So I'll show you the same deal with using a blending brush. This one here. Okay, let's do this one first. So really, when you look, before I just do that, when you look, these 3 sentiments are going to go on these cards. Now, Christmas is better together. There is a reindeer with her baby on each of the cards. I don't want to cover that up. There's one there. There's one there. And there's one there. So they're going to be same card, but their pieces are going to be in different positions. And it's only based on making sure that we can see this reindeer. Okay. So I'm going to do it on this one. I'll put those over there. What I want to do, using my early espresso, actually, I'll put some, I'm just putting some ink on a block. I have a tendency to like doing this. Man, it's a bit dry. Okay. It's a bit dry, but that's okay. Well, I'll re-ink that before class on the weekend. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come along and I'm just going to add a bit of aging to my paper. Just doesn't need to be neat. And then I'm going to do the same here. And it's actually better, the messier it is, the better. Okay, so we don't want it neat. Now, because I'm doing that on this one, I'm going to do it on my inside piece as well for this particular card. Okay. I'm also going to do it on here. You can't do only part of the card. You need to be consistent all the way around. So I'm aging this piece as well. Okay. I will also age one of these because I am going to use it. What I don't know is how much of it I'm going to use. Okay. So I'll just pop that back to the side. And then we can put this card together. So this piece here is just going to go straight onto my card base. A little bit of green glue, favorite glue of all time. And that one's going to go straight onto my card base. And you can see it really, because we've done that aging, it doesn't really need that frame. Okay. This piece here is going to come across here. And I want that to sit over the top of it. So I only need it that size. Now, I did not bring my trimmer over. So how can I do that? I can actually use my scissors, but I want to make sure it is straight. So I'm just going to line it up with the bottom there. Turn that over. Because I know this line is straight, I can butt my scissor tips up to it and trim. So now I know that piece there is straight. Okay. This piece is actually going to go on flat and it's going to sit approximately there. Okay. This is going to go on with dimensionals, this piece, but it needs some glimmer, I think. It needs something, which is why I have this super duper long piece of glimmer. Glimmer with your trimmer will blunt the blade. So if you've got a blade that was older and you have finished and it's making all of your other cardstock furry, put it aside, mark it however you want to mark it so that you can make it your glimmer blade. I actually have one of the old trimmers and I have a glimmer trimmer. Trim this down, okay, so that way you can sort of see how big you want it to be, where you want it to sit. As well, okay. And I think it needs to be flagged. Now, this flagging on this will probably not work as nicely because it's too little. So I'll show you what it looks like. Be better off going from a corner perspective. Nobody saw where that went. I think it's too little, but you know what? It will actually work, so we will do it. The glimmer's a bit of a firmer paper. This new glimmer does not have adhesive backing. And I'm putting it in the bottom third. So I've got a little bit underneath it and a little bit above it. Okay. And then that piece there is going to sit on top. Now, you do have baker's twine in this suite. I've turned off the autofocus. Sorry, guys. I don't know why it's doing it. I really like this baker's twine. I think it's really pretty. There's a couple of ways that you can use it, and I think looping it in this case is going to be the best. All right. How I'm going to loop it is I'm actually going to put a piece of baker's twine under here, a piece of tape under here, and then I'm going to pick up my edges, and I'm literally going to loop it onto that tape. And the reason why I'm looping it onto the tape is because then I know that it's going to sit, it's going to actually pop out underneath my sentiment, and that tape's going to get hidden. Okay, so I want that piece up there. This piece here needs to be a bit bigger. As does this bottom piece down here. And you'll need to go around about 3 times, just so that it looks symmetrical, for want of a better word. Actually, that's a pretty good word. All right. And then just trim it off. So it looks like a dog's breakfast underneath there, but once you add your sentiment to it, it changes it up just that little bit. Okay, so we're going to put some dimensionals on here. Now, the thing with the dimensionals on here is that you don't want them on your trim, on your ribbon or your glitter. The glitter doesn't seem to hold them as nicely and stick. Everything seems to be a bit more difficult to stick down where the ribbon is, where the ribbon is, or where the trim is. So I think I can get away with another one over there to push that bit in there. I normally would put it onto my actual sentiment, but not in this case. So you want to keep making sure that you're going to be in underneath that sentiment. Or that sentiment's going to be sitting on these dimensionals perfectly. All right, so you can see that I've got it's not sitting on any of my glimmer because it doesn't stick as well to glimmer. It just doesn't. It's just the way it is. I think it's because of the rough texture. And it sits crooked if you want to have it over the top of your twine. So you want it to straddle your twine. Okay, and then this guy can sit on there. And that looks pretty smick. Then you can sort of play with this bit here and have it sort of sitting how you want to have it. Now that looks lovely. You can add, I really like these dots. These are the gold textured dots. The druzy ones are really pretty as well. But these are just, there's 3 different sizes in the packet, and they just add just that little bit. Oops, wrong end. Just that little bit to it. I'll put one up there, and I'll have a bigger one. Oops, didn't want to come off with me with my. So 3 little gems. Now there is little trees on here, and there is a little tree stamp in this stamp set. So I'm just going to, you can put a reindeer in here, you can put some stars, you can do whatever you like, but I'm just going to stick a little tree in here. Don't forget to do your envelope. Make sure my tree is standing straight and not bending over. I'm going to match my envelope with a tree. Okay. You could also put some of the designer series paper on it. The choice is yours. But that's one card. Okay. Stick that inside in. And that was relatively quick. So let's make the other 2. And you can see, I'm not sure how long I've taken so far, but that's okay. Oh, look how fuzzy I am. All right. We'll just pop that inside in there. And that's one card. Okay. So let's get our production line happening, because we've seen what we want to do. All right. So we want to make these a little bit smaller. Okay. Trim it up. Doesn't matter which piece of paper you line it up against, as long as it's nice and even. Okay, we'll trim that up. We'll trim this one up at the same time. Oopsie. Okay. So they're all trimmed up. Hey, that works as well. Look at that. But yeah. And where did I put that blending brush? Here it is here. Just to make this a bit quicker, I'm just going to take ink straight off there. Again, round I'm going to go. Don't need to be tidy, don't need to be neat. Actually looks better if you're not. This ink pad really needs to be, what's it called, re-inked. It's been really dry here recently. We're supposed to be getting big storms, so I'm hoping when there's a big storm while this video is playing, because I'll be at work and I won't be caught in it, but I'd like it if it's finished by the time I'm out. you know how it is. So just go around all the bits that we've got ready. So you can get some really nice cards made really quickly. So there's a couple of things to take note, and I will tell you, I will give you the heads up. If you're thinking about making some nice cards, this suite is less than this. I don't remember actually how much this suite costs, but anyway, this suite is a really nice suite to add to your cart, but there's actually a joining special starting soon. It doesn't start till the 1st of October, depending on how much time you've got to craft, or depend on how much time you need to make the Christmas cards, depends on how many you need to make. The joining special is a value add special, so it's $169 still, but you are actually going to get more bang for your buck. You get an extra $50 worth of product on top of your normal $235. So you're going to get, I think it's I think you get to pick $285 if I remember correctly. But watch this space, you will see notice about that come up, and it starts on the 1st of October. Okay, those are done. We need some trees in here. You can put a reindeer if you want, like I said, but we're just going to pop some trees for nice, quick, easy cards. You can put a sentiment on the inside if you want to. You don't have to. Make sure my tree's standing up nice and tall. Could have more than one tree if you wanted. But there's a tree. Oh, I didn't do the envelopes. That's okay. You've all seen me do an envelope before. I'm sure that it won't be a problem. Okay, so let's glue. Oh, was that one? No, this one had more red on it. That was that one. Let's glue these guys down. Okay. So essentially you could go along and you could literally just have everything in a pile all ready to chopped up. If you haven't seen it yet, there's a website called Love It, Chop It. Kylie Bertucci runs it or owns it. She brought the movement to us. Love your paper, chop it up, use it. You can always buy more if you love it that much and you need to store some. But use it up. There'll be more fabulous paper to come. There's always new releases. Right. So because we want, I'm going to put the green one on this one. All right. My feature is this one here. My feature is this one here. So that one up there has got to go up the top. Or I think I want to be able to, no, do I want to see that reindeer? No, he's done to disappear, that reindeer. Another way that you can add the ribbon is that you can add it to that, wrap it around it, tie a knot in it. Okay? Depends on what you want to do. I'm not going to do that at the moment. I might do that to that one down there. So I'm going to glue this one on. Want to see it without ribbon? All right, let's see it without ribbon. Glue that one on. We need a little bit of glimmer. About that long. And we will do this because I actually really liked that. I wasn't expecting to, but I did. Put you on there. It's not as long as the last one, but that's okay. Oh, no, cut it crooked. I can't do that. I can't have it. Look at it. It's as crooked as a dog's hind leg. That wouldn't have worked. Now, another way to put, oh, I just tied a knot in it. Another way to put the trim on so that you've got more than one way. All right, I've got a piece. I'm just going to put it on the edge there because that's a hard bit I've got. Can't believe I've got a knot in it. Don't want the knot in it. So there's a couple of different ways to put the trim on. So this is another one. I'm just going to loop it around my fingers numerous times. So it's around there 3 times. Needs to be a bit bigger. All right. And then I'm going to go like so. And that piece that I pulled off before, I'm going to put over the edge of it. Okay? And then I can glue. I can either do that and close it up. All right. And then I can put it here like so. But it depends on how you want it to look. And I like it to look messy. So I don't want it to look neat. Oopsie. I pulled it a bit tight. So I'm just going to stick it under here. Like so. Yeah. And then I'll stick it over the top with another piece. Okay? So it just depends on how you want it to look. Depends on how you treat it. Okay, so that one's held it together. All right, I'm going to put a dimensional, where are they? Now it's a little bit sticky on there, but I need to put a dimensional in this space here. All right. Okay. And a dimensional is going to go in that space there. And this time I am actually going to put it on the end here. And I'm going to put on the glimmer. Now it won't stick as well on the glimmer, but I'm just going to have to deal with it. That one doesn't want to come off. It's being stubborn. Oh, it's off. And the reason why I'm going to have to deal with it is just because that's just the way it goes. And this time all I did was something a little bit different. I don't know if you've noticed, is I've actually stuck it over the edge. Okay. And we need some gold dots on here too. So we'll have a medium on there and a medium there. Ah, I stuck it on the piece of paper. This one needs 5. I'm just saying, it just needs 5, I think. But there's some dots on that one. So that's another way that you can do your ribbon. Come on, out you come, we're in a rush. Okay. And then that one goes in there, and we'll make an envelope to match, and we'll move it on. This one here, all right. So we've got our piece of our designer series paper. Third way for doing ribbon, I'm going to attach a piece of the ribbon across the back here to my piece of designer series paper. All right. I'm going to wind it around here. I might do it around 3 times. And then I'm going to attach it. I'm just going to stick it down with another piece of tear tape. Okay. And trim that off. That is going to go across there. If you want to, you can put a bow on it. You can tie a knot on it, or you can leave it as is. I'm going to tie a bow. Now to tie the bow on it, just turn it onto its side. Stick it in here underneath here, and literally I'm going to tie a nice big bow. Literally just tie a bow in it. Okay, where's its little leg? There. Oops, it's all twisted. It's like a little bit like candy cane, this thing, it looks like. Make you nice and long. Okay, so that's another way that you can add a little bit of fibre to it. I don't want that crooked end. And then we'll trim this the same way we've trimmed everybody else. Okay, so let's just push that up a little bit. I'm going to glue this down, but it will stick up just a bit because that twine's underneath there. Okay, and that's just the way it goes. There's not a lot you can do about that, but we're going to have it sort of partially covered anyway. And I'll just stick this one down on here. And then we'll stick this piece down. Didn't check to see how long it was. I don't really want it the same length, so we'll just chop a bit off the end. This glue, because it doesn't stick straight away, it gives you a little bit of wiggle room, and the wiggle room works for playing with it as well. Okay, so now I've got choice here because I can just straddle that, and I don't need to get all creative with where I'm sticking my dimensionals. I can just stick them where I like to stick them, which is fairly even around my piece, because then it doesn't flatten out. Yeah, I didn't think you came up. And I'll just stick that in underneath there. Make sure it's nice and straight on my card. And we'll stick some oh, it stuck to my gold. It stuck to my table. No. Just put a couple of little gems there. Actually, I think we need one up there as well. It needs 2 because it can't be an even number. Okay, cool. And then this one needs its inside put in. That's what happens when you don't clean ink off your stamps and then you lean something on it. You only end up with one side on your piece of paper. Pop that inside in. And there we have one piece of paper. And essentially, if you did it again, you would have 6 different cards. But in this case, we've just made 3. It's the same card, all done with making this our focus. So to do that, we just moved our sentiment. But how smick do they look? So let me just check back in. I hope you've all had a great Thursday. I hope you've enjoyed making 3 very quick, very easy cards with me. But sometimes it's nice to take a step back and realize that we're running out of time. So we need to be fast. And these cards do that for us. They are very fast cards. And as you can see, they look pretty fabulous. So until next week, if you need anything, the supply links are in the you can purchase through the links that are in the post related to this video. Hope that you've enjoyed. Please leave me comments. I will answer them all later this afternoon. I'll speak to you all later.